Good morning, student. This is the 12th lecture of your transport phenomena. So in this class we are going to talk about the equation of motion. Okay, so we are talking about the equation of motion. Now what is the equation of motion and how it can be derived? So what is equation of motion and how it can be derived? So here the derivation of this equation of motion is not an important. Okay, so derivation of this equation of motion is not important because ultimately we are going to use various forms of equation of motion. Okay, and the one which is relevant to the system and to the geometry. So we are trying to find out what is the velocity distribution. Now for any system, if if we want to write the equation of motion, essentially what we are doing for a fluidic system, so we are writing the equation of Newton's second law of motion for an open system in which the fluid is allowed to enter and leave the system. Okay, fluid is allowed to enter and leave the system. So whenever we write the equation of motion, so we are doing for a fluidic system where we write the equation of Newton's second law of motion for an open system in which fluid is allowed to enter and leave the system. So there is some momentum which is being added to the system due to the motion of the fluid, and there are two ways by which due to the motion of fluid or the momentum can come into the system. Okay, so one is, as we know, the convective momentum, which is due to the flow of fluid, where some amount of mass of the fluid per unit time is coming crossing the surface area, and the amount of mass which crosses the surface area has a velocity at that point. So the mass flow rate is mass into velocity. Okay, so the mass flow rate will be mass into velocity. This give you amount of momentum which comes in due to the actual motion and crossing the interface, which is nothing but the convective flow of momentum into the control volume, which is nothing but the convective flow of momentum into the control volume. Now there is a certain cases in which, let's say, the fluid is in moving in upward direction. Okay, fluid is moving in upward direction, let's say y direction. So along a vertical plate, okay, so the upward direction along a vertical plate, which is the control surface, which is the control surface. So there is a gradient in velocity between these two vertical planes. Now y momentum gets transported in the x direction, that is the horizontal direction. Y momentum gets transported in the x direction, that is the horizontal direction. So due to the viscosity which is going to manifest itself as a shear stress on the surface. Okay, now y momentum getting transported in the x direction must also be taken into account as a source of momentum coming in into the control volume. So y momentum getting transported in the x direction must also be taken into account as a source of momentum coming in into the control volume. Since it is taking place in the direction perpendicular to that of the motion, and the principal reason by which this kind of momentum taking place is the molecular in nature. So whatever the kind of momentum taking place for the motion of the fluid, and it is the molecular in nature, so that type of transport is called the molecular transport of momentum or the conductive transport of momentum. So we have two different momentum due to the fluid flow. So one is convective transport of momentum, which is due to the velocity, and second is the conductive transport of momentum, which is due to the velocity gradient. Okay, so convective transport of momentum is due to the velocity, and conductive transport of momentum is due to the velocity gradient. So Newton's law of viscosity, in which the viscous transport is expressed by the velocity gradient, not by the velocity. Okay, so Newton's law of viscosity is expressed by the velocity gradient, not the velocity. So convective transport is due to the velocity, and the conductive transport is velocity gradient. So these are the different ways by which rate of momentum coming in into the control volume. Now this control volume can also be acted upon by different forces. So this control volume can also be acted upon by different forces. So all the forces which are acting on the fluid inside the control volume should also taken into account in the difference equation. So as a result of this, there may be an unbalanced force on the control volume. As a result of this, there may be an unbalanced force on the control volume. And whenever there is an unbalanced force on the control volume, its momentum may change. Its momentum may change. So the rate of momentum accumulation equals to the rate of momentum coming in minus rate of momentum going out plus summation of all forces acting on the system. Okay, so here the rate of momentum accumulation is equals to the rate of momentum coming in minus rate of momentum going out plus summation of all forces acting on the system. So this is the most general form of equation of motion for a fluid, which is nothing but again Newton's second law for an open system. Now you can see here that this is the control volume. This is the control volume having a side del x, del z, and del y. Okay, so we understand that the equation that is just described the rate of momentum accumulation equals to rate of momentum coming in minus going out plus summation of forces acting on the system. So this equation would be applicable on this system. So we would see how the convective momentum comes into this system. So if we look at the face del y del z, if we look at the face del y del z, I'm showing you. So this is del y, this is del y, and this one is del z. This one is del z. So if we look at the face del y del z, so let's assume that the velocity is vx. Let's assume the velocity is vx. And so the amount of mass which comes in through the del y del z, through this face del y del z, must be equal to the del y del z rho vx amount of mass. So the amount of mass which come in. Okay, so the amount of mass which come in through this del y del z phase must be equal to del y del z into rho into that velocity vx. Okay, so if you multiply with this term rho vx into this area del y del z, so we can get the mass which is coming through this del y del z phase. Now in order to obtain the momentum, multiply it with the another vx. So in order to obtain the momentum, multiply it with the another vx. Okay, so the x component of momentum will be component of momentum will be that del y del z multiply with that rho into vx into this del y del z rho vx. This is the mass which is coming in through this phase. Okay, which is coming in through this del y del z phase. Now x component of momentum. Now whenever the momentum will come, so momentum will be mass into velocity. So we have the mass del y del z rho vx at x multiply with that the velocity vx. Okay. So the rate of momentum coming in into the control volume at x phase will be del y del z rho vx into vx at x. Okay. Now similarly we can talk about the uh, this this phase, the right phase, the mass of the fluid which is leaving from this x plus del x, this shaded phase. Okay, so these are also having the area del y del z, but it is the phase at x plus del x. Okay, so this momentum which is coming through this del y del z phase coming out, it will be the same but at x plus del x, means the del y del z rho vx into vx at x plus del x. Okay, so for the del x del z phase also, del x del z phase, which one? This one is the del x, this one is the del x, and del z, del z is this one. So this area will count. Okay, so del x del z phase, similarly we talk about this del x del z phase. The amount of mass which is coming in through this phase must be equal to del y del z, del y del z into rho into vy. So del x del z phase, del x del z phase, so this phase coming in and from this phase coming out, so it will be del y, not del y, del x del z, del x del z into rho vy, del x del z into rho vy, but the amount of mass has an x component of the velocity. So in order to obtain the x component contribution of this much of mass, so this must be multiplied with that velocity term. So the mass, so the momentum that is coming at this del x del z phase will be del y del y del z rho vy into vx, rho vi into vx at y is the total momentum that is coming in through this y phase, and the x momentum that is going out the control through the phase, that is del y del z rho vy vx at y plus delta y, at y plus delta y. So here also we can see we have this one phase at x phase, and this phase the y phase, and this top phase is the z phase. Okay, this one is the z phase. So we have this 1 2 3 4 5 6 phases are there. So for the x these are the for the x plus del x phase, another is y, this one is y plus delta y phase, this y plus delta y phase, and another is z and z plus del z phase. Now this fluid element having the volume del x into del y into del z. So this fluid element having the control volume, that is del x del y del z, through which the fluid is flowing, now rho is the density that that is we are using for finding out that the momentum and Vx, Vy, Vz are the velocity components in the x, y and z direction. So similarly, fluid is entering at y, entering and leaving at y plus y and y plus delta y, z and z plus del z. Okay, so we have means that fluid is entering at x, at y and z and z, and leaving at x plus del x, at y plus del y, at z plus del z. Now as we consider the momentum that is taking place by these two mechanism, convective and the molecular or the conductive mechanism. Okay, now external force acting on this system are the pressure force and the gravity force, pressure force and the gravity force, and the momentum transfer is happening due to the convective and the conductive mechanism. So we write the momentum balance for the x component of momentum and the external forces. So similarly we can write such expression for the y component and the z component also, and we know that the conservation of momentum equation, as I have discussed earlier, that the rate of accumulation is equals to the rate of convective momentum in, the convective momentum in, convective momentum out, plus a rate of conductive momentum in, rate of conductive momentum out, plus summation of all forces acting on that control volume will be the rate of momentum accumulation. So but at steady state this rate of accumulation terms will be 0. So at steady state this rate of accumulation term will be 0 at steady state. So only the terms, the convective, conductive and the forces terms will be there, which will be equals to 0. Next, as I have discussed, that the x component of the convective momentum entering in the x direction, rho Vx into del y del z into del y del z. Okay, so we have that area, we have this control volume, we have this control volume, now this is del y del x and this one is del z. Okay, so at x phase, this is the x phase. Okay, entering x in the x direction, so this area will be del y into del z. So we have this momentum will be equal, mass into velocity, so we have the mass rho into Vx into del y del z into rho into Vx. So this is the mass. If you multiply with that velocity terms again, so we have got the momentum term. So the momentum at x phase is rho Vx into del y del z. Similarly, from through this y plus delta y phase, y plus delta y phase, not y plus delta y, this will be x plus delta x. Okay, so because this one is the del x, so at x phase we have this term, and for x plus del x the same term we have, but at x plus del x. Now similarly the rate of x component of convective momentum, which is entering at y phase, means through this phase, so x component of convective momentum entering at y phase, that will be the, what is the area of this phase? The area of this phase will be del x into del z, del x, this del x into del z. So this area, so rho Vy momentum will be rho Vy into Vx into del y del z. So we have the mass. The mass is del x del z into rho into Vx. This is the mass. Now if we multiply it with the velocity again, we have the momentum. Okay, so we have this momentum. So rho is del x del y and del x and del z through this x phase, and the x component of convective momentum that is going out through this y plus delta y through this phase, which are also having the area, same area, the del x del z. So these are also having the momentum rho into Vy into Vx at y plus delta y del x into del z. Similarly, for the x component of convective momentum entering at x is del x del y, the z component. Now at z phase, now z phase through this bottom and it leaving from the top of this control volume. Okay, so this is the z phase. So entering at z is del x del y multiply with the rho vz into vx at z, and the leaving at z plus del z. This is the x component of convective moment. All these are the x component of convective momentum through different phases, entering and leaving. So x component of means x component of momentum, convective momentum, x component of convective momentum entering x, y and z direction and leaving x plus del x, y plus del y and z plus del z. So at means at z plus del z, the x component of convective momentum will be del x del y multiplied with that rho vz vx at z plus del z. So the net convective x momentum flows into the element del x del y del z. Okay, so this will be del x del y del z. So net convective of momentum that is flow into this element, that will be rho vx into vx, means through this x phase and x plus delta phase, this one, plus at y plus delta y, means this one is entering and this one is leaving. Okay, through del x del z phase, plus at z phase entering leaving through this phase, means the del x del y area. Okay, so the net convective x momentum flow into the element del x del y del z, it will be rho vx into vx at x, rho vx vy at x plus del y through this del y del z phase, plus rho vy into vx at y minus rho vy into vx at y plus delta y through this del x del z phase, plus rho vz into vx at z minus rho vz into vx at z plus del z multiply with this del x del y phase through this del x del y phase. Okay. Now next is, we have gone through the convective momentum. The convective momentum. Now we have the molecular transport of momentum, which is due to the viscosity. The molecular transport of momentum which is due to the viscosity, or we can say due to the velocity gradient. Okay, or due to the velocity gradient. Now similarly, x component of momentum that is entering at x by the conductive transfer or the molecular transfer is tau xs xx at x del y del z. So del y, similarly the area we have del y del z through the x phase, through this x phase, this one having the area, this is the area we have, this is the area we have, this del y del z. Okay, so a rate of x component momentum entering at x by molecular transfer, that will be tau xx at x through the del y del z phase, and leaving at x plus del x, that will be del y del z at x plus del x, the shear stress, same shear stress term tau xx, and rate of x component of momentum entering at y phase. So entering at y phase, the area of this y phase will be del x del z. The area of the y phase is del x del z. Okay. So the x component of momentum getting transported in the y direction must act on the area del x del z. This del x del z. So y direction has this much of surface area associated with it. So the x component contribution in the y direction must be equal to the del x del z multiply with the shear stress acting on the y face. So del x del z is the area, multiply with that the cross section, del x del z is the area multiplied with the shear stress acting on the face. Okay, the now similarly we can write for the y plus delta y face. So this face also having the same area del x del z, and this will also have tau yx. Tau yx means y direction has matched the surface area, that is del x del z, and tau yx, the x component of momentum. So x component of momentum getting transported, into y direction. Okay, so tau yx is x component of momentum getting transported into the y direction. So similarly at z phase also we have the molecular transport of momentum for the x component we are considering. So this also will be tau zx, where x component of momentum getting transported into the z direction at z phase. At this z phase also we have this area del x del y, and leaving at a z plus del z, the same shear stress term tau zx at z plus del z multiplied with that the area del x del y. So net x component of momentum by molecular transfer is, this one is the leaving term, the entering, this is the entering, and this is the leaving at x and x plus del x through this del y del z area. Next at y and at y plus delta y phase through this area del x del z. This one is in, this one is in, this one is out, this one is also in, this one is out, at this one is in at z, at out at z plus del z through del x del y area. Okay, so for the x component of momentum by molecular transport or the conductive transport, we have this equation. Okay, next we are considering the external forces. So what are the external forces we are considering? The pressure and gravity, the pressure force and the gravity force, where the pressure force is the surface force and the gravity force is the body force. Okay, pressure force and the gravity force. Now net fluid pressure acting in the x direction. What is the net pressure acting in the x direction? So if we have the pressure P at x, pressure at P at x, and pressure P at x plus del x, because the same pressure acting on the x direction as well as for x plus del x phase also. So net fluid pressure acting in the x direction through this del y del z phase, it is px minus p at x plus del x through this del y del z phase, through this del y del z phase. Now this is the difference in the pressure force acting on the x phase. This is the difference on the pressure force which is acting on the x phase, and the other pressure difference do not contribute to the x component of momentum. Only the pressure over on acting on the x phase and on the x plus del x phase, so they have contribution in the x direction. Okay, only the pressure over on acting on the x phase and on the x plus del x phase, so they have contribution in the x direction. So if I pointing out once again that if we write the equation for the x component of the forces, so if you consider the pressure force or the body force, all the other components y and z components can be written in a similar fashion. So this is for the x direction. So similarly we can get x direction, y direction also, and the z direction also. So we don't need to write each one of those components separately. So if you can write the all these components for the x directions, so we would be able to write similarly for the y and z direction also. So now we have identified the pressure force, that the only thing that is remaining is the body force which is acting on it. Now what is the body force here? The gravity force. Now the gravitational force which is acting in the x direction, it is the rho into gx, rho into gx into del x del y del z. Okay, rho. So the mass is mass of the control volume is del x del y del z into rho. Del x del y del z into rho, this is the mass. If you multiply this rho with this del x del y del z, this is mass. Okay, now this is in kg. If you multiply with it with gx, the gravitational force, so at x component, so then we can get this body force. Okay, now the rate of accumulation of momentum inside the control volume would simply, rate of accumulation of x component will be del x del y del z, del x del y del z into del t rho vx, which are having the unit kg per meter square second, kg per meter square second. Okay, now if you take the convective momentum, conductive momentum, and the x component of the pressure force and the x component of body force and the rate of accumulation of the x component, then according to the equation which we have written, that the rate of momentum accumulation, which is equals to the rate of momentum coming in minus rate of momentum going out plus summation of forces acting on it. Now momentum, rate of momentum in, there is a convective as well as the conductive term, and the rate of momentum out, there will be also convective and the conductive term. and the forces, which is the pressure force and the gravity force. At the rate of accumulation also we have the rate of momentum accumulation, also we have del x del y del z multiply with the del rho vx del t. Okay, now substitute all these equation 2 to 6 2 to 6 in equation 1, that is the governing equation, whether the rate of accumulation is equals to the coming in minus coming out plus summation of forces acting on the system. Now, and taking the limit at del x tends to 0 and del y tends to 0 and del z tends to 0, so we have obtained the x component of the differential equation of motion as follows. So we have this del x del rho vx into vx del x plus del rho vy vx upon del y plus del rho vz vx upon del z minus del tau xx the upon del x plus del tau yx upon del y plus del tau zx del z minus del rho del p del x plus rho gx, which is equals to del rho vx del t. Okay, so this is for the convective, this is for the convective term, this is for the conductive term, this is the pressure, and these are the gravity force, and these are the accumulation term. So this equation we can get after simplifying all these equation 2 to 6 in equation 1 and dividing by del x del y del z and taking the limit del x tends to 0, del y tends to 0 and del z tends to 0. Now similarly for the y component, this equation we got, this differential equation of motion we got for x component, which is denoted by equation 7. Similarly we can get for the y component also the equation. So here the difference is, here the del rho vx into vx del rho vy into vx. So here as it is the x component, so it is written here the del rho vx vy del rho vy vy del rho vz vy. Okay, so similarly for the conductive term delta tau xy delta tau yy delta tau zy. Okay, so for the z component also we have the similar equation. So this one is equation 8 and this one is equation 9 for the z component. Now from 7, 8 and 9, by using the equation of continuity, now simplifying all these 7, 8 and 9 means the x component, y component and the z component of differential equation of motion, differential equation of motion, and by using the equation of continuity we simplify it to this equation, where del rho del t is equals to minus del rho vx upon del x plus del rho vy upon del y plus del rho vz upon del z. Okay, now equation of motion we got after simplifying x component. For the x component we have, for the x component we have this rho vx this rho del vx del t plus vx del vx del x plus vy del vx del y plus vz del vx del z. Okay, this is the x component of equation of motion, and similarly we get y component of equation of motion and the z component of equation of motion. So we previous case we have this the x, y and z component of differential equation, and by using the equation of continuity we got this is the equation of continuity. Okay, del rho del t, which is here. Now after simplifying it we got the x component, y component, z component of equation of motion. Now the general form of this equation of motion is rho the substantial derivative dv dt minus, so this dv dt is the mass per unit volume into acceleration. So this term is mass per unit volume multiplied with the acceleration, which is equals to minus divergence of tau, that is the shear force per unit volume, minus divergence of p, that is the pressure force per unit volume, plus rho g, that is the gravity force per unit volume. So d capital D upon dt is the substantial derivative or the divergence, we can say. So here you can see rho del Vx del t for the x component, rho del Vx del t plus Vx del Vx. Okay, so this term is for the dv dt, dv dt, capital dv dt. Okay, then we have the conductive term, that is minus divergence tau plus that rho g term, then again minus divergence of p. Why divergence of p? Because we have this del p x, del p y and del p z. Okay, so this is the equation for the x component, y component, z component, and after simplifying it we have this general form of equation of motion for pure liquids, that is rho dv dt equals to minus divergence of tau minus divergence of p plus rho g. Now we have this equation of motion. So equation in tensor notation is known as the equation of motion. Okay, so where this rho dv dt is essentially mass per unit volume, mass per unit volume, and divergence of p is the pressure, which are having the unit Newton, or the force per unit volume, and del tau, which is del x tau, means the divergence tau. This divergence tau is equals to del x tau, that is the shear force per unit volume, and the rho g is the gravitational force per unit volume. Now both sides can then be if we have this accumulation and the coming in minus going out plus the summation of forces acting on it. So after dividing that both side by del x del y del z and taking limit del x del y del z tends to 0, we have the differential equation for the x component, y component and the z component. Okay, now if I didn't derive the entire equation and I have given you the enough points for the fundamental development of equation, or the fundamental and fundamental development of equation, and I have told you that how to combine these three equations. Okay, how to combine these three equations in a vector tensor notation, and what you get is the equation of motion considering all the three directions. So considering all these three directions, now if in this equation, means if this equation of motion, okay, if this equation of motion, if you introduce the restriction of constant density and constant viscosity, and if you add the equation of continuity, you have this equation of motion. Now if you consider it for the constant density and the constant viscosity plus equation of continuity, then you have this equation rho dv dt, which is equals to mu divergence square mu minus divergence p plus rho g, which is also called the Navier-Stokes equation. So where this divergence square is nothing but is del 2 del x2 plus del 2 del y2 plus del 2 del z2. So from the equation of motion we can find the Navier-Stokes equation when the equation of motion along with this equation of motion, we are considering the constant density and constant viscosity plus equation of continuity. Then we would able to find this Navier-Stokes equation after considering the equation of motion with constant density, viscosity plus equation of continuity. Okay. Now, if viscous effects are not present, if in this equation of motion, if viscous effects are not present, so if viscous effects are not present, that is called the inviscid flow. Inviscid flow. Okay. So for the inviscid flow, because we don't have any viscous effect, so we can cancel this term. So only we have this rho dv dt equals to minus divergence P plus rho g, which is also called the Euler equation. So from the equation of motion, we can get Navier-Stokes equation as well as the Euler equation. Okay, so the equation of motion for the special case when the rho and mu for the fluid are constant, we get the Navier-Stokes equation, and that is one which we are going to use in all our subsequent studies of motions. So there is one more simplification that can be thought of, that is the viscous effects are absent. So if the viscous effects are absent, that is the for the inviscid flow, so we can get the Euler equation. So this rho dv dt equals to minus divergence P plus rho g. Now we have done this class the equation of motion, and the previous class we have done the equation of continuity, the concept of different derivatives, and the introduce the and the equation of motion for the special case where the density and the viscosity of the fluid are constant. Okay, so all these equations and the equation of motions or the Navier-Stokes equations are nothing but the statement of Newton's second law for an open system. So another fundamental relation in fluid mechanics can be the special case for the Navier-Stokes equation where there is no effect of viscosity. Okay, so for fluid of very low viscosity, or in other words for the inviscid flow, what we get from the Navier-Stokes equation is known as the Euler's equation. So the Euler's equation has so many fundamental uses in fluid mechanics. It is the starting point from where you can start to obtain the Bernoulli's equation. So it is the starting point from where you can start to obtain the Bernoulli's equation. So the Euler equation is for the inviscid fluid, and Navier-Stokes equation is more common for the viscous fluid. So Euler's equation is for inviscid fluid and the Navier-Stokes equation for the viscous fluid, in which case rho and mu are assumed to be constant. So if they are not, then one has to go back the fundamental equation which is valid both for steady and unsteady, constant rho or variable rho means the density. So constant mu and variable mu, Newtonian or non-Newtonian. So equation of motion itself is a complete expression. Equation of motion is itself a complete expression that gives you the entire physics behind the motion of fluids and the momentum transfer. It gives you the entire physics behind the motion of the fluids and the momentum transfer. Now all these equations, the Navier-Stokes equation as well as the equation of motion, are available in different coordinate system. Now what would be the equation for x component in Cartesian, cylindrical and the spherical coordinates, or similarly for the other components in all three coordinate systems. Okay, now what we do is that in the next class we would see these components, and we will try to figure out how to use those for all those problems that we have dealt with so far using the shell balance method. And we will see that the use of the right components of the Navier-Stokes equation for the problems, and we dealt before, we had essentially simplify our problems. that we have done few problems regarding the momentum balance, okay, without using these Navier-Stokes or the Euler's equations. So next we will describe all those problems using these Navier-Stokes equations, or the by applying the equation of motion or by applying the equation of continuity. Okay, thank you students for this class.